Welcome back to Discovering Durham. I am Daniel Sylvester. It's a beautiful Monday morning, though it's a little chilly out. We're almost there. Hey, it's almost summertime. The clocks have been moved ahead, but that's not why you tuned in. This is not a weather channel. Today, I want to talk about a common phrase that I hear all the time. What is this phrase I'm talking about? The market is hot. These days, this phrase is dime a dozen. You can go out to dinner with a friend, you're watching the news, you're on a Zoom call, you're at a hockey game.
You're not at a hockey game because this is COVID.
So yes, the market is hot. That phrase isn't bad, but my question is, how hot is hot? Like, are we talking this hot? Or are we talking this hot? Or are we talking this hot? Or are we talking this hot? Are there any measurements? Are there any metrics we can use to actually get a good sense and a good gauge for how hot the market really is? Of course we can. The answer is yes. I want to put some tools in your belt. I'm going to equip you with 3 questions that you can follow up with any agent who tells you that the market is hot. Question number 1. What is the list to sale ratio? That is, on average, in my area, what are people selling their house for in comparison to their asking price? For example, in your area, on average, if people are listing their house for $700,000 and on average they're getting $700,000, then they're getting 100% of the asking price. The list to sale ratio is 100%, which would indicate a balanced market. Now, if you start looking at the list to sale ratio in your community and those numbers start climbing, 108%, 110%, 115%. The higher that number is, the hotter the market will be. So why is that important to you? Well, I think that's an important stat because as a seller, if you're going to be selling your house, it's helpful to know on average what people in the area are selling their house for. Are they getting way over asking price or are they getting under asking price? That stat will give you a good gauge. Question number 2, what is the absorption rate? How many months of inventory are on the market at any given time? This is important because this will give you a very accurate measure of the amount of demand that's currently on the market. The way you calculate your absorption rate, you take the amount of active listings divided by the sold listings and you get your number. That stat helps you measure with the amount of inventory that's actually out, the active listings, what percentage of them are selling. And if a ton of them are selling, then you know there's a lot of demand. If there's not a lot selling, but there's a lot of inventory out, you know that there's less demand. Typically, 4 months of inventory is pretty healthy. The lower that number gets, the more of a seller's market we are in. And question number 3, what is the average days on market in my community? This will tell you exactly how fast, on average, people are selling their house in your area. Now, in the Durham region, anything under 15 days would be considered a seller's market, and the lower that number gets, the stronger the seller's market would be. The reason why the days on market is important, from a strategy standpoint, if you're a seller and you haven't sold your house within that average day in your community, then most likely you're gonna have to revisit your marketing plan and your pricing for your property. If you're a buyer, one helpful thing to do in a strong seller's market is look at the days on market. If the average for your area is 10 days, start looking at properties that have been sitting for longer than that because those properties could be getting stale. It could be a good opportunity for you to buy a house less than asking or maybe not have to compete against so many other offers. So there you have it. 3 very, very important questions that will give you a really good understanding of how hot your market is when an agent says the market is hot. Number 1, what is the list to sale ratio? Number 2, what is the absorption rate? And number 3, what is the average days on market? Knowing that these numbers will give us a good gauge at how hot the market is, let's look at Durham region as a whole in February and see how hot it was. Average list to sale ratio was 114%. The absorption rate was 0.8. The average day on market in February was 7 days. That is one hot market. Now, I've just provided a bird's eye view of what the market looks like over all of Durham region for every type of house. But if you're watching this video and you're wondering what those numbers look like for your area and your style of house, I'd be more than happy to get those numbers to you so you can have an accurate idea of how hot the market is in your own area. And if you're looking to buy or sell in this market but not sure what approach or strategy to take, I'd be happy to help you think through that. Feel free to reach out, give me a call, shoot me a message on Facebook, on Instagram. Thanks again for tuning in. in and discovering a little bit more about Durham. I hope you found this video helpful. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Discovering Durham, or you can follow me along on my Instagram page at Daniel N. Sylvester, Facebook page at Discovering Durham, which should be here. We're gonna be posting some exciting videos coming up in the next couple weeks. You don't wanna miss them. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have an awesome week.